Good evening and welcome to this Planning and Highways Committee meeting on 4th of September 2025. Apologies for absence.
There are apologies from Councillor Walraven and we have Councillor Markwell substituting.
Thank you. Agenda item 2, disclosure of interest, to deal with any disclosure by members of any disclosable pecuniary interest and interest other than pecuniary interest as defined under the Seaford Town Council Code of Conduct and the Localism Act 2011 in relation to matters on the agenda. Do we have any? No. Thank you. Agenda item 3, public participation. There is no public here. Agenda item 4, planning applications. So planning applications received in week commencing Monday the 21st of July. First one's LW/25/0388 4 Bishopstone Road. Installation of driveway with a drop curb. As we have no members of the public here, I'll just open it up straight away to committee. Councillor Buchanan.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, this kind of looks fine. It's, every other house along there has one. This will be just doing what everybody else has. I would support this.
Does that find a seconder?
Yeah.
Councillor Markwell, does anyone else wish to comment on this? No. So all those in favour of supporting this application? That's unanimous. Thank you. LW/25/0451 37 Purdes Road. Demolition of an existing garage and link utility room, replacement single-storey side extension. Who would like to comment on this? Councillor Richard Honeyman.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, it's concept, sorry. It's interesting that it's only coming to us because of the going with the utility room, which is an extension again, isn't it? So that was the interesting thing about it. It is substantial, but it will improve the house generally, or bungalow really. Well, bungalow originally, and the house.
Door.
So you're supporting the application?
I support it, yeah.
Does that find a seconder? Councillor Buchanan. Do you have any other comments on this application?
It's a bit big, but I'll support it.
I was worried about, sorry, Chair, I was worried about the boundaries. You know, it's just right up, I think. Here. Yeah, it's just up to, it's just like there was a gap before, so there's a bit of a gap.
There is, but it's right at the, it's a back garden, it's not a side garden as well. So if it was a side garden and a side house, then I can see an issue, but because it's a back garden, then...
They need a 1 metre clearance if it wasn't, but as it stands now, it's straight through to the rear garden. Basically, it is what it is. So I think it's a bit big, but I can't find anything legitimate to criticise the application. And it is what it is, it's a side extension. If they want to get anything into the rear garden in the future, but that's their problem.
Right, so we have a proposer and a seconder for this application. And can I have a show of hands in supporting it, please? And that's unanimous. Thank you. There were no planning applications received in week commencing Monday the 28th of July. Planning applications received in week commencing Monday the 4th of August. We have LW/25/0476 Parish Church of St Peter, Blatchington Hill. A new external railings, gate and handrails to boiler room, vestry and church hall. Councillor Lord.
Support it. I deal with the diocese on a regular basis, and they're absolutely spot on in every single sort of thing they do. I've looked at it, support it.
Councillor Richard Honeyman.
Yeah, I thought we only dealt one a couple of years ago with something very similar, the same location, so I don't know if it's just an update or it's something really in addition. I didn't study that detail, but we seem to have a lot going on in that boiler room areas. But I'd support it, I'd second.
Councillor Olivia Honeyman.
Yeah, I was just going to say I thought it was interesting reading the comments that's been done by Historic England and the Conservation Officer, but yeah, obviously as it said it's needed and it's been done sympathetically, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a proposal from Councillor Lord, seconded by Councillor Richard Honeyman. All those in favour of supporting this? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. LW/25/04809 East Dean Rise, detached residential annex. Councillor Olivia Honeyman.
I've looked at this a couple of times, and I've read the complaint as well, and then also somebody's put in, I am concerned about this being a residential, being turned into a residential. I know we've only agreed to these being done for if they've been locked down to be specifically for that person who's owning it at the time. I'm trying to remember all the stuff in the neighbourhood plan. I mean, they've allowed the gaps and everything else. I'm still slightly concerned about this in the back garden because it's not a very big garden.
Not very good at all.
No, it's not big at
So
all.
go back to this, because
Yeah,
this is what I was thinking.
I admit I'm concerned with it going in, turning into an actual residential property, as in the back. So I'd be, as the saying goes, I'd be interested to hear what other people think, but I am worried about this one.
Do you have any other comments on this at the moment?
We've been down this road quite a few times over the past few years. If you look at the other gardens on the 1 to 1250 scale, you'll notice that a lot of the gardens are of a similar size. And if we set a precedent here, for example, one to 3 or 4 properties, we can do that. I've also, on the other side of the fence, I also say, well, it's for like children growing older, going to sixth form colleges, and this, they want to move on, but they can't get away from the parents. I support on that pretext. On the other pretext, set the precedent so every garden will have an infill in the back garden. It's quite a tricky one. And then also, I have to say to myself, well, if it's only a residential for the family, I'm quite comfortable with that. What I don't want is a residential, so it's an annex for non-residential people with that particular property, whereby it's let out as a
Airbnb.
an Airbnb, or just for people just renting a property off them. And like I said, there's nothing really covering this, because I think when the documents were brought into place, this didn't exist. Of actually bringing properties into, rear properties, rear annexes being brought in, because there's nothing to say you can and you can't. And it's down to an individual opinion. And I know for a fact, if we were to fall short and object against this, it would automatically go through on appeal, because there's a need for additional properties. So I'm really sitting on the fence. One says no, one says yes. But I say, if anybody else can just come another nudge one way or the other, I will vote with them. But I know that if we do vote against it, we'll be in very deep water, because you really have not got any substantial evidence to say you can vote against it. And it's also one meter from all the board, from the boundary as well, which complies to everything you want. It could be a garage, it could be a workshop or something like that. So yeah, that's me finished.
Councillor Richard Honeyman.
Yes, I mean, I walk around it fairly regularly. And yes, the gardens on both East Westdean, East Side, and Vale Close as well, which is the one which is opposite the other alleyway. We're called Twickers and it's more, don't we? Anyway,
We call them
Twickers.
gills, actually.
Gillies and the Euro and Chapter Lord. What number was that one opposite theirs? That one?
It's on
14. Was that the one who did the complaint? Was it 16 in the same road? I can't remember.
I'm sure.
But
they talked about this row in general.
they're more worried about the slope, aren't they? Because it is quite steep, aren't they?
Yeah, so they.
In a lot of ways.
These look like they're
lower down.
Yeah, that doesn't help in one say, but.
Well, this is right at the top on the corner.
Yeah, as Councillor Lord was saying, it would be tricky to totally turn it down. We still would have to do the subservient, and it has to be connected with the property. You can't do a separate separate property if
Can I
we're
just- For you, Chair, do you mind, I mean, they have actually said in their design and access statement that it is for an elderly relative that is currently living in the house that
Right.
they want to put in there.
Yeah.
So they,
What happens when she passes away? Is it, well,
Yeah,
you
this
can only
one
view
has
an
to be
application, what's in front of it. She may live another 50 years, we don't know.
Can I bring up?
Councillor Markwell.
Thank you. I don't know the planning law on this, but I totally agree with Councillor Lord about setting a precedent. My concern is that a residential, if it was a shed, that's different, but being a residential, you're putting in water, electric, gas, you're putting in sewage,
Yeah.
right? Now, you put in sewage there, and you're adding to the sewage flow and everything else, but if then all the others decide they can do it, so they've all got the same length of gardens there, so they could all do it, you're really putting in a lot of extra weight onto structures that that weren't necessarily built for extra. I don't know how that works in terms of a planning reason, but it does concern me that you're going to say you're opening the floodgates for everyone else to decide to, build themselves, because, and then the other issue also is what happens after the resident is not linked or is passed away or whatever. There is no law against them at the moment, I presume, then using it for, unless we were able to put that into our criteria for renting it out. But to be fair, even if we did put it in, how would we ever check and know? Unless it was advertised.
We can.
So, I've got reservations with it, but yes, can't find major things to object to it. But we could include a clause in it that we will support it, but it would have to always remain subservient to the house, and obviously only 2 family members of that house, and not be used for anything else.
That's important, sure.
But we still, to get that in, because we have had recently a case in New Haven of an annex being built that has now had another application go through with change of use for an Airbnb, and that was an annex when the original planning application for a member of the family.
And did it get passed?
On appeal.
So yes.
So yes, so we do have to be careful with just an annex without any other things in, I think. So if we ensure that it is just for the member of the family, even if, and not for renting out separately to anyone else. Just one other thing is the letter of support is the same letter of support that was on the last 2 annexes we had at the last meeting.
That's what I was going to ask about, Chair.
Word for word.
I didn't look at it until, I didn't know that came yesterday, didn't it?
It's a bot that
It's a bot doing
the
it.
second they put word annex in, exactly the same thing is
Yeah.
being
That's what we
generated.
thought of.
And I would like us to
But
bring
are we a
it.
proper company or not? We don't know, do we?
So the company is,
it's the National Annex Planning Consultancy.
Actually,
If I really
they are
exist.
called the Granny Annex Consultancy, and they dropped the word granny because I used them in Word and Social.
so I'd like to it brought to Lewis District's attention that this is a bot, and is there any way of them either not allowing these as letters of support? Because the thing is if anything went to appeal, would the appeal then look at this as a letter of support and something else? So
Sorry, but it does say there about comments, because I don't remember that being in the one that they done previously. Because also someone's actually really looked at this bit, and I said about in reviewing the application, note the importance of viewing the annex to remain subordinate to the main house. And it's essential the annex is not occupied as a separate dwelling.
that's in all of them.
Oh, that is in all.
So that is in all of them.
But then if they come back and ask for a further planning application later for Airbnbs and change of use, and you're saying that that's being delivered anyway, being approved.
Doesn't mean to say this one would be, but
No,
we've just got to be mindful that
So I'll support this application, I'm not happy with it because I know we can't succeed.
But are you happy with the proviso
With
that
like,
it
which
is,
you put into,
that it's,
it's family use only.
Yeah.
But it's that family use only,
Yeah.
because the thing is, it says
It's
young
household.
children, and then it says elderly parent. So
Well,
it's,
they soon get to 18, don't they? They don't want to know you.
It would be the household family.
the households?
Yeah.
And obviously, then a bit about the supporting.
Yeah, I'll mention that, yeah.
So does that find a seconder? Councillor Hanneman, and all those in favour of supporting this application
You,
with those revisions
Local
on?
advisors, yeah.
That's 4. Those against? 1, and then are you abstaining?
I think I am on this occasion, because I just don't feel,
So that is carried to support the application.
So can I just say now, after this particular application, what I found at work, because I deal with applications at work, and what we have found, there's a trend, and it's going to come here as well, AI, at producing
Yeah.
standard
It was going to be
documents like this,
Yeah.
not particularly as broad bush as that. And what they do now, they say, and they start quoting case law, just in between. And what we found is that they start going to case law from before the war, and after the war, when planning applications started to come in and where they are now. And they're either for it and say, well, there's one application like down in Nottinghamshire, what? Which went for a particular application, and our legal department now, we've employed a full-time lawyer to go through these, because this is going to start going more and more.
Yeah.
We've also employed a lawyer at about £1,000 a second, I'm exaggerating, to go through it. And basically, it's something right up and down the country. The word annex comes up, and this will automatically flag itself up for the people who flog these AI consultancy things. And unfortunately, it's something which this town council, particularly Lewis and Eastbourne, are going to have to get used to, because it's going to put more and more and more for supporting an application, and we want to have the resources to go against it. So it's just something we should be looking at work, because this year January didn't exist, and now we're in back to the end of this year, and it's coming more and more and more. It's not mentioned, that's all. And it's a bit worrying, really, because we haven't got the resources to say yes or no to certain. Perhaps our deputy mayor, who's a legal expert, can actually provide us with some expert legal advice on this. Anyway, just not mentioned, that's all.
Thank you. Right, we move on to planning applications received in week commencing Monday the 11th of August. LW/25/0491 10 Heathfield Road, single storey rear extension.
Oh. Sure. It is what it
Councillor
is.
Lord.
It is what it is.
It's a very big garden.
Perhaps get an annex in there as well, though, councillor Martin.
Councillor Richard
As you
Honeyman.
know, Heathfield Road and Southdown, they do have a mixture of properties, and some do have nice big extensions in the garden, big separate dwellings, as we know. So, but that one is, as Councillor sort of says, is what it is. So I'd support that one as well.
Yeah.
Councillor Olivia
I was
Honeyman.
going to say the same, and it is quite interesting, because we knew the person who used to live there when they've sold it, and now obviously the new people are putting an extension on it.
Why? It's
Quite-
a big property.
It's a big property
Why?
anyway, and now they're putting everything, so yeah,
It's
no.
quite interesting, the footprint is actually similar to the next door property, which is a good thing, because they're all slightly different properties up there, so they've all, had different extensions and different things done to them, so.
And in furniture, it's always a kitchen getting extended. It's not the lounge like we can watch television. It's the kitchen where the kids are rolling about at 8 o'clock in the morning, But it's always the kitchen. It's a nice job, nice flat roof with a nice roof lights. What's it called? A lantern light is called, that's it. So it's a nice job. Yeah.
Right, so we have a proposer and a seconder for this application, and all those in favour? And that's unanimous. Thank you. Planning applications received a week commencing Monday the 18th of August, 24 South Down Road. Detached dwelling to rear east, fronting Headland Avenue. Anyone want to comment on this?
A bit confused as to, oh yeah, let me have a look at that again. So,
So,
yeah,
is it possible you could enlarge that, please? Thank you.
This bit,
It's going in the colours.
sorry, it's really bad.
Yeah, it's not really Seaford Road, it's Headland Avenue really.
But it's the
Yeah.
it's the land for the South Down Road property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Councillor Olivia Honeyman.
I did have to admit, I didn't read all of the information they put about the design and access statement, but it said about the fact that they'd done this in 2011 and then 2001, sorry. Initially put the application in 2001, and then now, for sort of reason, they're now trying to do it now, because it was refused in 2001, and they've made it more subservient to. So I thought, considering what size a lot of the houses are along Headland Avenue anyway, it seemed alright for the size, but because there's one a bit further along when I did a drive round, that is enormous.
So I don't see anything wrong with it. It is lower.
It's basically
It does look like
isn't
it is subservient, and it fits in with the design of all the Hallam properties in that area. The only thing I'd like is a chimney, even if it was just decorative, because all the others have, and the actual property in South Down Road has got 2 chimneys on it.
Extra maintenance.
More likely water will come through it.
But I'm like, it's the only one without a chimney now.
I spent a wood burning stove coming through it, so
But I'm quite happy to support this application as well.
I'll second that, sure. Just wish I could afford it, but never mind. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to promise. I can still commit it's not aesthetically pleasing without a chimney. The chimney is an expensive item, it's a decorative item, has a very complicated late detail with the roof, which in birth about 25 years leaks. So,
I'm not putting it in as a recommendation, it's fine.
Yeah,
It was a visual comment.
Okay, so I fully support this application.
Do you have any other comments on this application? No, so all those in favour of supporting it? Those against? And those abstaining? Thank you very much. Tree Works applications TW/2/0075/TPO 9 Wilkinson Way, T4 Home Oak, reduced crown to previous pruning points due to oversized for residential gardens.
I've got something I can put up on the screen. And there's even this.
I know, this, is it?
Was it, yeah?
The most information we've ever had.
And I said 30%, but 20% is even better. And 3 metre crown lift to the bottom, yeah. Yeah, just, it's not a whole, it says here, and it's wrong.
it says at home oak, it doesn't
Yeah,
home
but
oak.
I thought, there's no such thing as a whole oak.
Yes there is, I've got about 13 in my garden.
And as far as I answer, it's a lollipopping. So it's a crown, it's a crown lift and a crown at the top. Normally you do about 30%, it's 20%. When you go back to the actual knob where you cut it off before, it grows more fiercely
Yeah.
than it did before you did it before. Well, nothing to do with it, but yeah, I support it going back past the knob end, power the pump, to the next full branch there, in which case it would have been a full lollipopping or pollarding. But yeah, you have to support it. 20%, it's not a lot, it's going to be very expensive, and it's going to be 10 foot from the ground at 3 metres. Yeah, it's okay, it's only one tree. I've only dealt with it once actually, did quite a good job, but Yeah, it's in good health, as I said, so yeah, I support this application.
Does that find a seconder? Councillor Honeyman, do you wish to comment?
No, because all the information's in there, and it's that time of year when they can start
Yes, you're quite
doing
right.
it.
You're quite right, Councillor.
Any other comments on this application? All those in favour of supporting it? And that's unanimous. Thank you. Agenda item 5, road closure application for Seaford Bonfire. Recommendations for the reporter to note the report and to consider submitting any comments on the application to Lewes District Council. Any comments?
Yeah, scare my cat.
What, road closure?
I think we
No.
noted that last year.
Yeah, I
so
think-
I don't know if we.
Funny, it scares my cat, little sock. He hides under the bed, God bless his little cock socks. Runs so much.
Councillor Olivia Honeyman.
Yes, as I've already made the comment with the district council, and it's been mentioned earlier on, it's the parking, is whether there can be something done about the parking at the top of Cricketfield Road.
Yeah.
When you turn immediately right into Stane Road,
Yeah.
last year when I was walking back from the bonfire, that section was carnage because it's the pinch point.
Yeah. Just, I live in college, I live in Cricketfield.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah.
Uh,
So
Covers.
it's an absolute pinch point.
Mm.
And last year I sort of stood and watched, and it wasn't good because there was so much parking on both sides.
Yeah.
And there was no give for anyone to nip in, and so it meant a very long stretch. And then there was people stuck this end and stuck this end.
And kids and whatnot.
And I've made the comment to the district council, and then also I've already spoken to Isabel earlier on and Sharon about whether there's any way parking can be maybe suspended one side or ideally both sides, but then I found out there is a cost to this. But it's just, can something be done about it? Also because it'd be harder for emergency vehicles to get through as well. But something, because obviously they can't use the coast road because that's closed. So they're using that road, the Stane Road, to get through, and that is the only bit there's an actual pinch point.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
especially
right.
with that volume of traffic trying to get through, is whether something can actually be done.
I think
About that.
also Councillor, what you should remember, it's dark as well.
Yeah.
And so if it's in light, you're oriented. When it's dark, you're disorientated. And actually, I say we live just off Cricketfield Road and College Road, so we have it every year. Not as scares a cat. But I also want to say, there's when it finishes, it's like a football match. Everybody exits at the same time, and you have these pinch points, and it's compounded by the fact that you have double parked cars because there's no parking enforcement in the area, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just something we should take into consideration and perhaps inform the local constabulary that we are aware that there's pinch points. There's nothing to do about it, but we're aware of it, because I'm always conscious of that. If something goes wrong, and suppose there's a bit of a crush, say, well, what did the council do about it? Well, we noted the fact that there could be a possible pinch point. We requested Lewes District Council to impose some kind of a planning restriction notice. And if there is a cost implication, it should be passed on to the Bonfire Society. And so we say, look, one side of the road, obviously Council Hunter's far better for us, which side of the road should be closed. We should say, well, one side of the road should be closed from a time from 6 till 9 or something like that.
Well,
I'm just saying that. I'm just saying, for example, right? And if there is any cost implication, you pass it on to the Bonfire Society. What it will do, it will prevent us from being involved in any potential litigation with regards to potential accidents. I'm just saying, as we should just flag that up.
Councillor Olivia.
one suggestion is, sorry, that was I was just going, is that we need to maybe suspend the parking for the whole day.
I'm just saying, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying, and if it is, as I said, and I think I would recommend, I know if possible, that the Bonfire Society carries a thorough risk assessment with regards to not the actual bonfire going off and the parade, but people leaving the fields, because that's because every march is in nice and orderly, with little wheelbarrows with fireworks in and whatnot. When it leaves, there's a large number of people leaving a confined space into a confined area, and I think that more importantly, the risk assessment should be how people are allowed safely to leave the actual motel or fields. That's just one of my...
Some of that's down to us because it's our field, so
Well, it's our
that
field.
should be looked at by officers.
But if it's, I'm just saying, it's something which we need to be aware of. When it's looked after by us,
Yeah.
which is fair, we have a picture. But if there's any cost implications, it should be passed on to the Bonfire Society. As ratepayers this time, we shouldn't bear cost for somebody else's actions.
It's something we can get officers
Perhaps
to
we-
look
Yeah,
into.
can I come back on a couple of those points?
Yeah, go on.
So I think, yeah, like a crowd management plan, that would be part of the risk assessment that we have to then see before they can rent, before renting the field.
Excellent.
But I'll take those points back and just...
Thank you.
In terms of they also have to do a traffic management plan.
Well, you understand that, yeah.
Yeah, so there's that side. When it comes to this bit, in terms of that road, we obviously aren't responsible for that road. So I think what out of this committee, it's how we get our concerns back to the right people.
Precisely.
The police have already, as a result of this road closure application, the police have requested a safety advisory group meeting, which we've assumed is with like the fire, police. And so they obviously have some concerns, or maybe they have some feedback from last year that they already want to discuss. So it's whether we can try and feed this back to that as well.
Just as you know.
Yeah, because I understand what you say about the Bonfire Society needing to cover costs, but it might be that another authority, not us, because it's not us, but another authority responsible for particular different parts of the town might need to share some of the responsibility there. But we can feed back our concerns on that.
It's just the fact that we've noted the fact that there is a concern.
Yeah.
Provided we've noted the fact, we notify the relevant authorities, irrespective if they act upon or not. We've actually we've done due diligence basically.
Yeah. From our personal experience.
Yeah.
Can we ask them to submit this, that officers from Seaford Town Council are invited along to this safety advisory group in order to fully feedback all these comments?
If it's a need, can I put myself down? Or somebody else?
It'd be officers.
Okay, that's fine,
It'd be
that's fine.
officers.
Okay, great.
Councillor Markwell.
Yeah, I think on the Christmas budget planning, and last year we were very, very lucky. We had thousands in town, and we've reflected on all of that, and our risk management plan now for crowd control is really, we're quite hot on it this year because of the way that it was all set up and how you need escape routes for big crowds. So I'm not getting the feel for that on this direction here, because on the way back, when everybody, as you say, is trailing and not following anything, and they're just swarming, if something goes off or something explodes or something happens, you've got to be able to know where you're going to get the crowd out. And that there aren't pinch points, because that there are roads where people will be directed, and the Bonfire Society have to have wardens still there monitoring that route to get the crowd away from the big area and to disperse them until they're completely out and away from the area. Because if something goes wrong and they're not controlling those areas, no one will know where to go, and that's when you get all the crushes. So
just to assure you, they will have that in place already. I mean, it's Sussing's Events that runs this, and but it won't show on the road closure, because obviously this is only mapping out the road closure.
So I guess a slight anxiety, because I think these things are getting more and more popular, so it's quite difficult to estimate how many people are going to get. And if it's going to be a warm or a nice-ish day, you'll probably get double the number that you were going to get if it was a cold day. So all of that, yes. I mean, I'm sure they know what they're doing with their risk assessments and stuff, but I do think that some of the officers here, like Sharon and Natalie, who are involved in the Christmas Magic one, it will be quite useful for them to be alongside looking at this as well, because it'll also be some learning for them, when they're doing the other one, and we've got
sorry, just for you, Chairs. Obviously, they also might not have been aware of what Councillor Honeyman witnessed. So it's how do we feed that back to them, and they're not going to know unless we do this exercise here and then feed it back to them. So that's what that's what this is here for.
Councillor Richard Honeyman.
Okay, a couple of things. So yes, I think a lot of people, the assembly point is basically at the White Line pub area, hotel area. That's where. So I think a lot of people some people drop people off at the edge of somewhere and then they re-park up which is basically near the lower school Seaford edge, so that's where a lot of people do go there. But I can guarantee if you go along that bit also on a school day you'll find that they park both sides, so it can be quite narrow even on a normal school day. So there are issues on that particular bit with the end of Steam Road into Sutton Park Road. Where does Steam Road stop and Sutton Park Road start?
Well, you don't want to carry on, but what?
But the opposite, basically the bit by the lower school, which is
Yeah.
a bit.
Different parts.
No, it's that bit you would compare when we walk past it. And it narrows right down, doesn't it? If people parking both sides, you can't basically. There's not enough for two-way, just enough for one-way on that particular part. That's the bit you're talking about. Yeah, so it's that particular part. So it is wider than just bonfire. I say just bonfire, but it might be bigger for some of the other events that go on in Seaford, which rely on Martella Field and post-event, where do the crowds go? So
that may be something we look at in the future, and maybe try and get double yellow lines down one side of that road, just for continuing.
And I'm sure the school's got an opinion on it as well, but probably not for this situation. But generally, they must have realised on a normal school day. So.
One final point was shut up, right. I think Isabel shouldn't take notes and advise the bonfire people that the vast majority of people who come to bonfire don't live in Seaford.
Yeah.
So they're not too sure where the roads are. It's dark, and I think Council Mel was quite. Christmas night is great because people know they come from Seaford, they know where they go to, easy dispersal. If people come like down from Framfield, Upfield, Mayfield, other places, and they're not too familiar with the topography of Seaford, and it does cause this pinch for us because they don't know how to disperse. And I think perhaps if each bonfire society is given a little map saying, this is how you disperse from the Martella fields. So the bonfire society can tell people, look, this is the way we disperse, this is the roads we can use. Because I know there's a fellow in our office, he's bonfire mad, right? And he's come down to Seaford, he does every year. And he says, where's Seaford? He didn't know where Seaford was, he lives up in Mayfield. Because he's been to Seaford once in his life as a child. So it's something we need to make aware that perhaps we provide little maps to the bonfire society so they know how to perhaps disperse in a timely order, perhaps, I don't know. But make sure that they know Seaford, they know the roads, they know which road they can use, and they don't use my back wall as a retreat, but never mind, that's another story. So it's just little things that we've actually passed the onus back onto the bonfire society rather than it all on our own shoulders. Anyway.
Thank you, Councillor Lord.
I'm going to shut up now.
Do we have any other comments? Councillor Olivia Honeyman?
Sorry. I was just going to say, I think we should thank the Seaford Bonfire Society for all they do, because they put an immense amount of work into this. An immense amount of work into this. And they are totally reliant on donations. So I think we need to allow that into this equation as well, that they are totally reliant on. So it's, more people need to give money towards it, because it is becoming more expensive. Because that's the problem with a lot of health and safety things and events now, isn't it? The cost of
never used to be, did it?
The cost of actually running the events now is just becoming a bit astronomical. I just thought we ought to say thank you to the Bonfire Society for organising this event.
Not for me, it's going to my cat, but other than that,
Do you have all my comments?
Yes.
So, if there is nothing else, the recommendations are to note the report and to submit comments which Isabel has captured onto the application for Lewes District Council. Can I have a proposer for that, please? Councillor Lily Halliman, Councillor Lord seconding, and all those in favour. That's unanimous. Thank you very much. And can I just say to whoever printed, thanking you for the coloured pictures, because last year they were black and white and we couldn't see them.
Doing it right. It's really hot. How are you going to be able to see? So no one else knows that I've done that. So
no, but it's needed for that because you couldn't. You can't
right,
actually see it.
If you said yellow root and red root, which is which on a colour one, oh yes.
Yeah,
so
thank you. So, agenda item 6 is the update report.
I haven't got anything to add to that. It was very, very short, and we agreed with them all anyway.
Well, no, they agreed with us.
They agreed with us, didn't
They
they?
agree with us.
That's
All
right.
around them.
They agreed with
They
us.
agreed with everything.
So if we have no further comments, the recommendations to note the contents and the decisions, so can I have a show of hands to note? Thank you very much, it's unanimous. And that concludes our meeting at 19:42. Thank you.
Thank you.